It's November now, which means it is time for our November to be played list. We tried to keep this achievable. Let's go. We did pretty well for the games we were supposed to play in October. We did play Resistor, and we played it like so many times that it check. 100% check. It was also our game of the month, so it was definitely getting to the table. The Geiger expansion to Compounded, not so much. We did try, but there was just no way to fit it in with the other games that we were playing this month. We are still hoping to get it to the table really soon. But we did get to play Cacao. This was the tile laying, cocoa selling, fountain hauling game. And we played it like a whole bunch of times with a bunch of different people because it was, one, pretty fun, but also so easy to set up and so easy to explain that it was like, yeah, just come over and we'll play this game, and 10 minutes later you're playing the game. I love that. We also played Cthulhu Realms and Ghost Stories. Those were both games we picked in the spirit of Halloween, and we got them to the table a few times each. Cthulhu Realms we tried with a small player group and a large player group, and found that it worked much better with the larger group. Ghost Stories works horribly with every group, and you're just going to die. It's not that it's a bad game. Ghost Stories is a good game. It is designed by a skilled designer, and it is like basically impossible to win. If you think Robinson Crusoe was challenging, play Ghost Stories. Could Robinson Crusoe get harder? My favorite part is watching the hope die in a new player's eyes. When they sit down in the first couple rounds, like, oh, this is manageable. Like, I don't get what the big deal is. And then 3 rounds later, the game is done because you're all dead. Ghost Stories. One Night Ultimate Werewolf. This is another one that we've played. So this condenses a werewolf game into 1 round. It's a lot of fun. We haven't been able to review it on the podcast, Vox Republica, plug, yet, but that'll be out in a couple weeks. So for those of you keeping score, that's like 5 out of 6 games, which is pretty good. I'm like solid B+. I would even say an A. Maybe. If I were generous. November is going to be a busy month. It's the start of the holidays, and it's a lot of shopping and time with friends and family, and none of those are bad necessarily, except for the shopping sometimes, but it leaves very little time for the gaming. Still more time than in December, though, so there's that. There's also Extra Life in November, so I'm hoping that we're able to knock all of our plans out of the park during Extra Life. But we'll see. First up, Monarch. It is our game of the month for November. So obviously we're going to be playing it. We're probably going to be playing it a lot. We've already started playing it. Spoiler. Monarch is a game in which the queen is dying and her daughters must come together to vie for the throne. It's primarily a tableau building game, but the catch is that there are some cards in there that present a prisoner's dilemma. So you are given the card, and if everyone pitches in, all of the players, they all come together and say, yes, we will contribute to this. We agree. We'll engage with this. Then good things happen for everyone. But if some players decide to opt out and not want to participate in whatever that card is, bad things can happen. It's an interesting dynamic. I have not personally played it yet, though members of our team have, and I'm excited to give it a try. This one is my personal pick, in addition to Monarch, for the game that I want to play most this month, Watainai. It is a game about a worker in a Buddhist temple, and the whole point of the game is that nothing should be wasted. All of your cards should be used optimally. I'm so excited by the theme of this one that I can't wait to give it a try. Next up, we have Heroes Wanted. This is one that Ryan wants to try in particular, and it is a game in which you're auditioning to be the next superhero. You want a place on the squad. The catch here is that the cards are interchangeable. They're kind of modular, so you can put the bottom of one hero with the head of another hero and see what you get. It leads to some really funny combinations, so I'm excited to try it too. Generally, though, we try to stick with older games when we're doing this. There's sort of an unofficial policy that if a game comes in first, it should be played before a game that came in afterwards. It's just sort of fair. But I'm kind of breaking the rules on this one because Pandemic Legacy, I'm not waiting to play this because I really want to play this. I'm so intrigued by Legacy style games. So for those of you who don't know, those are games that have permanent effects that last beyond just that one game session. So at the end of the game, say you might lose a city to an outbreak. That city's going to be gone in the next game that you play. It leads to interesting consequences for your choices, more so than in a game where everything is done at the end and you reset completely at the beginning of the next one. I'm so excited to see how this works for Pandemic, because Pandemic is a game that I just really enjoy in general anyway. I know that some people have problems with it because of the whole alpha gamer thing. I am curious to see if Pandemic Legacy does anything to mitigate that, but even if it doesn't, I'm still excited for this one. So Pandemic Legacy will definitely be getting to the table in November, even if I have to play it by myself. Each month, we also pick an older game. So this is one that we've played before, that we've probably even reviewed before, but we just want to play it again. With all of the new games coming in, like you've probably seen, we don't have a ton of time to devote to games that we've already experienced a whole bunch of times. So we created this section to give us an excuse. Fresco, the big box edition, we reviewed this one a while ago, and in the process of reviewing it, we played it like a bajillion times, roughly. So we sort of got a little burnt out on it, and we haven't gone back since. I'm excited to try it again without the pressure of having to review it, but also being able to just pick whichever of the many expansions in here that we want to use. When we were reviewing it, we had a lot of pressure to try each one and to see what the interactions were between the different expansions. Now that we know which ones are good and which ones don't work well together, we can choose the best ones for the game that we want. And it will make it a much, much easier experience. Now, the part where I still haven't learned how to shuffle. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I am going to pick a card, any card, from this stack of cards. On each one, we've written the name of a game that is in our review queue, the whole list of games that we need to review. Whichever game it is, it will be that game's turn to get played and reviewed at some point in the next month, or, more realistically, the next month plus an additional week or so. Ready? What the food? What the food? This is a casual, family-ish game that sort of simulates a food fight. I'm not sure yet if this is one that we're going to be reviewing on the website in written format or on the podcast. We'll have to play it first and see which one we think will work better, but we will definitely be getting it to the table in November, probably during Extra Life. So those are our plans for November. Pretty achievable, I think, and there are a lot of games in there that I'm really excited for. Plus, we have Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon, which may be happening soon or may have just concluded, depending on when we get this video out to you. Because we'll be playing games for a whole 24 hours, that will leave plenty of time for games like What the Food and hopefully a couple playthroughs of Pandemic Legacy. But even if it doesn't, there's more time in the month. That said, if you are interested in supporting Extra Life, even if it has already happened, you can go through our page and donate. All of the proceeds from our portion of it are going to go to Boston Children's Hospital. Okay, so I hope you all have a wonderful gaming November, and we will see you again really soon. Bye! This month, Fresco, the big box edition. So that was how our October went. Pretty not bad. So that was how our October went. It was pretty good, as the kids say. And I'm not waiting to play this. I really want to play this, and everyone's playing it right now and talking about it, and there's only so long you can go before you start to get spoilers. And I think getting spoilers for a board game is like the saddest thing in the world. I don't want that to happen to me.